Hello everybody, Jet here and welcome back to my Beastmen campaign. So now we are pushing down towards Vulture Mountain and the last bit of the Dwarven territory down in the southern deserts. And once we've cleared here, we're going to clear here and smash our way up through the coastline there. We are also burning our way through the mountains up here. We have just smashed Mount Gumbag. And we are going to start pushing towards Grom Peak next. And then next we'll put up for Gnasnik's Lair. And then obviously Carag Cardin, which I think is around here. And then there's a couple more Dwarven things up here. And there are some Dwarven things right up north. However, I suspect they're probably not in Dwarf Holds. In fact, if you look really carefully, if you could ever see up here in your campaigns, guys, there is a Dwarven hold right up here, and there are some around here which have been pretty much destroyed and are basically, I think they're where the Chaos Dwarves are meant to come from, because there's a lot of territory here which is all part of the Chaos Wastes. And we are done with our spells. Let's get the next level Spirit Leech, and then we're on to other things. I'm going to need to take a couple of turns to regen at some point soon if I don't get a moon which gives me a full regen anyway. But no, we're doing nicely here. We are pushing through their territory nicely. Now, have the dwarfs actually managed to take some territory back down here? Interesting. Though they're not going to hold it for long against all the vampire armies around there. I don't think that's for Jungles of Green Mist, guys, do you? Yeah, so they've actually managed to take some places back down here, which is interesting. The question is, do I want to push down them? No, because they're going to be weak. They're not going to be worth much at the moment. I want to try and build up my income. And I can always head back down that way if the vampires don't manage to deal with them. And let's be honest, the vampires are going to manage to deal with them as they splurge over the world. I don't think there's really much. I don't think anybody is really powerful enough to stop the vampires now. I could potentially cause a lot of damage to them, but I don't think even then, I don't think I can actually beat them now. I think they're just too damn big. But we will have some fun with them later on, guys. I do promise that. 2 of my herds will start rampaging through there while my other herds go over to Ulfwan. But first of all, I need to finish off the Empires of Man. That's my actual campaign bonus, is to win the battle against the forces of man. And once I've done that, we will have won the campaign. Okay, so let's see. They're just spreading out. They really should settle somewhere. Not that I'd let them settle for long, but you know. To Grom Peak. And these places, because these have been around for a long time, these places have quite good garrisons. So yeah, they've recaptured Caragdor, and they've got the Oakenhammer, so and there he goes. That's another 8k, which is good. That gives us, that gives us a bit more breathing space. Right, let's see. Let's make sure you've got your reinforcements. And auto. 24k. That's not bad. That's given us a nice amount of income, and then we're going to push out here. We're going to smash here and work our way up the coast where we should be able to get a nice big chunk of income out. Oh no, we're pushing down here at the moment to try and get up to being able to buff our gores. And right. Right, we need to put something somewhere. Let's take the Vigor loss reduction. Actually, I should probably start doing rather than buffing up my Gauls, because at this point, that is probably more useful to me than other things. Than my Ungors, because I don't really use Ungors anymore, so buffing my Ungors is probably a bad idea. So we'll see how things go. Vampire counts being scared. I have had another request now for another campaign, by the way, guys, which is a vampire campaign, which I could look at. But again, vampires are another interesting faction. Though even in this campaign they've managed to get everywhere, playing them in the actual game is interesting, because you've got to spread your corruption before you... I mean, you can expand outside of your corruption, but you kind of end up taking lots of attrition. So it's kind of more of a slow game as the vampires, until you get big and can afford to just start sending armies everywhere like these guys have. But we'll see how it goes. Don't forget, guys, I'm also more than happy to use mods to unlock things, so if you do want to see all sorts of odd and interesting campaigns, you can request them as well. Okay, let's see how things are going now. Ooh, go on, Skaven, take it back. I'm kind of egging on the Skaven in this campaign. They're a bit of an underdog, and they've managed to hold it through. I know I'm not traditionally allied with them, and they're not really on anybody's side, but I'm egging them on because oh, they got their butts kicked. Very much got their butts kicked. Because they're kind of the underdog of this campaign, and they've managed to hold on throughout the whole thing. Oh no, they recapped it. I was going to say, did they just take that in front of me? And I just realised they didn't have it. I just sacked it. So we're going to go for the Wizard Caliph's Palace next. And then start working our way north again. After our brief sojourn through the deserts. Nice. That's a nice buff. That's extra weapon damage for all of my guys for a few turns. When is our next moon? One turn until the next full moon. We're heading up for Gnarsnack's lair. Oh! So the dwarfs are managing to retake places now. Up here. So I might actually have to turn around and deal with them at some point. Though, not yet. This is the thing I do find with Beastmen, because you're not having to manage so many cities and so much. There's far less going on for you in your turn. So actually I'm already on almost turn 250 here. So, you know, it's amazing how much faster time goes through as these guys. Because you really do, and you know, you really are just having turns go through quicker and quicker and quicker. No, we're still not doing a non-aggression pact with you. You might be my trusted friends, but you're not getting a non-aggression pact off me. Especially as you're letting these dwarfs re-spread through some of these territories. I wonder if these have been little dwarven rebellions along here, because the dwarves did hold those territories for quite a while. So I don't know how it works out who the rebellion is. I'd have assumed they'd have been human rebellions around there, but you never quite know how it goes. And actually here's under siege as well, so the dwarfs might be having a little bit of a resurgence at the moment, which I might need to go and stamp on. But I'm not that worried about it, if I'm honest. As I said, especially as I'm going to be heading back up that way soon, so we should be able to just burn through them. If it needs be, I can burn through the... Oh, that's however not good for Skaven. But I've got no interest in taking on the last defenders at this point in the game. I could go, but if I got drawn over there, if they get in my way, I will hit them and I will hit them and I will attack them. But I've got no actual desire to go into a fully fledged war with them at this point. The dwarfs are my target, then the remainder of mankind. As this little city on the coast is about to find out, the Crusaders are mine. They are my target and they are going to burn. To the point where the only humans left are probably going to be over in Lustria. And that is a good point. Are the New World colonies still around? I'll have to keep an eye on the top here, because if New World colonies are still about, once I've defeated everything over here, I definitely need to sail over to deal with the New World colonies. Yeah, we'll wander through Ulthuan on the way. Yes! Let's be honest, I'm not going to need to, Why am I not getting my backup? Oh, so actually I might end up fighting this. So we'll give that a turn to get some siege... equipment and get my unit back to full strength, and then we'll step on them. How dare they resist me? I don't think I can. Can we get there? Not quite. But taking that extra turn is not necessarily a bad thing for me. Let's start pushing through training to start leveling my guys up a bit more, and enter. With these armies are getting quite scary now, because the bulk of my units are monstrous units now, so that does make them very scary armies. Oh, I'm not even going to need to fight that with my 2 Bray herds there, as well as all of my guys at full strength. That's going to become a boring auto-resolve, unfortunately. Nope, it's still not happening. See, I think the vampires are actually getting a little worried, because I think they are struggling against chaos. No, don't do it. No, we're waiting for the program to respond. Oh, I had a big freeze there and I thought the game was going to crash. I've had a couple of crashes in the last couple of days on this, which is really infuriating when you're halfway through recording a video. As I'm sure you can imagine, on one of my Dark Elves ones, thankfully it was at 25 minutes, so I just cut it there. But it's really infuriating when you do get a crash in the middle. I can stitch them together, but it takes videos together, and you can do that, but I always feel it looks a bit... I prefer to just do it in one sitting, and it's almost easier to just do it in one sitting, so we'll see how it goes. Right, let's see if Clan Moors can take their back. Yes! I don't know why I'm egging the Skaven on, but as I said, they are a bit of an underdog in this campaign. And they had my back when they had my back when I needed it. And they worked as my meat shield when I needed it, so we're going to burn down that Crusader city there, and that's going to be the last of the Bretonnian Crusaders dealt with. And then we're going to smash here soon. I mean, a random Chaos Knight wandering around up here. Soon, we're going to get the War of the Vampires. I don't think it'll last long. These guys will lose. If they got stronger, if they hadn't fluffed it and fought this tiny little force for so long, they'd have actually become really powerful. And that's a really easy auto, which we can take the cash from. And here is... is it under siege already? I think it's already under siege. We'll chuck this guy down that way to go and have a look. So that's unfortunately not going to survive long enough for me to get there. So we will start pushing up here, but that's probably... So I think the dwarfs are pretty much done, guys. Let's hit here. Now it becomes a very easy auto. Okay, and we are just going to hold here for it. I'll send you... No. We'll send you forward scouting like this so you don't take damage. And end turn. So we're doing quite nicely here. Last few elements of dwarves who are getting burnt out of their territory in the moment, so things are going well. So vampire counts are just scary. Manfred von Karstein on his dragon there, and he is probably terrifying to fight against. So Bretonnia are still there. They're still managing to hold on somehow. I really don't know how. I think the vampires are turning back now to deal with the remainder of the dwarves. Because certainly these places up here, and there goes another Skaven settlement. I think with the last defenders hitting them now, the Skaven are pretty much done. My only worry is that I'm going to have to take on the vampires. Like I said, at some point I'm more than willing to do that, but I'd prefer to leave it as late as possible. Because the second I start moving through their territory, they're going to start not liking me, especially as I will have to raid through their territory to try and get to those last few Bretonian enclaves in their territory. I might have to cause a lot of damage. Well, these guys are expanding behind me, which is good. If they capture all of this coast, it will actually mean they can build a power base to potentially even rival... Well, no, they'll never rival the vampire counts at this point. But they'll at least provide a little bit of a distraction while I try and get inside and get behind them and deal with Bretonnia. Okay, that's a nice little buff. Let's move straight up here as quickly as we can. Right, you can head this way on your own, because I don't think I need both hordes up here. There really is no point in me going that way, so you're going to start making your way back down to these few little places. And we're actually going to go through this way, and we're going to bounce through here, hit here, then hit here, and then we're going to start making our way up. Now we are spreading out a little bit, so I do need to be careful, but I am still friends with the vampires at the moment, and worst comes to worst, I can just disappear into encampment stances while I move my herds together and fall back. It's these last few Bretonian enclaves I want to try and hit. So once I've smashed here, we will push through the territory to here, smash these last two little bits of Bretonia and fight the final battle, guys. At which point we will have won. So there it goes, Karkaradin is gone. I think the dwarves are pretty much done now. I think they've literally got 3 settlements left. Now it's possible they have some northern settlements, but I can't see them, and I suspect that they are held by the vampires, terrifyingly. Okay, so the Lawmasters are over here. It's interesting because actually Lustria does still have multiple factions, though they have just confederated with Zlanhupek, which makes them a lot more powerful potentially. Though I don't know how much of the territory over there the Lawmasters hold, so we shall see. I'm not seeing a New World colonies up here at all, so I don't think they are still in existence in this game at this point, which means that the Lizardmen or the Dark Elves have squished them, and this really is beginning to potentially turn into a game of superpowers. Because Ulthuan is definitely gone, though it could potentially be held by Teclis, though I doubt it at this point. Which means it's probably held. It's either held by Bretonnia, which I don't think so because they're not powerful enough, or more than likely Marathi or Nagarond, or part of, or both, a mixture of both. Which means that they will be very powerful, and they will be best buddies. Even if they never confederate, going to war with one will take you to war with the other one. No, it's not happening. And I suspect that that Mazamundi is very powerful as well, and I don't know how powerful the Lawmasters are, but we shall see. So that's one more dwarf faction gone. We've got a mission issued to attack somebody. It's hardly surprising. Ooh, they have a few friends. And actually, no, I say that there are still lots of people at war over there. Lots of factions over here, so actually that's not a superpower. Next turn we'll have our Brayherd with us and we'll be done. This guy can literally just keep moving on past. This guy, I say this guy, he's my top lord. He is Malagor of Dark Omen. You know, he is my legendary lord. Another 10k. You can beast path down here, and this is their capital, which is now a bigger settlement. They've done this with quite a lot of places. They've made them bigger settlements, and you can see here this place has 100%. She doesn't even. How are they losing corruption here? But this place always looks a little bit corrupt, simply because it's got because it is where they start. But I think most of the Empire looks like this now. You can even see through the fog of war, all of these places look all burnt. We've got chaos waste up here, mixed in with the vampiric corruption as well. So things are getting interesting. Right, we're pushing down the Vigor tree. I really should have been pushing the Vigor on all of these guys to get up to this. And end turn. And my Brayherd is joining me. So burning up this coast is not going to be too difficult actually now. We should be able to do a lot of damage here very quickly. We are building up our stockpile of cash again. I don't think I even need any more. As long as I can maintain those Brayherds with me, I can spread out even more and be a lot less careful now. That's unless I end up at war with the vampires again. But they really like me at the moment because of the actions I've been taking against all of their enemies. So that's not a huge thing for me to be worrying about at this point. Let's see what the Lawmasters are doing. So they are potentially going to be sending some armies my way to deal with me, but I'm not particularly worried about that, about the Lawmasters at this point. I'm not particularly worried about anybody other than the damn vampires at this point. Now, vampires are the big scary, and they're not dealing with bloody Bretonia, who they should have finished off already, because they've got a couple of tiny little enclaves in the heart of their territory where maybe they forced up, maybe they paid them an absolute fortune for a piece. But that doesn't matter. If that's the case, I will go and deal with them. Certainly the humans aren't going to expand into the Badlands anymore, because that is now firmly vampire territory. Here we've got another. That looks like quite a powerful little Bray herd actually now. That's been going away and following my tail around for quite a while. Nope. These refugees are still wandering around. They've had plenty of places to settle and they've just never taken the opportunity. Naturally, with that powerful horde, the issue is if they settle, they'd probably actually have to disband some of their army. The knights have been destroyed. Okay, so let's hit here. I was hoping for more from there. And right, you potentially, I don't even need to beast path. I'm gonna go straight in and slam into here. Okay, we'll fight this one, guys. So we've got a nice fight on our hands here. Now, this is where I'm going to regret not having archers, guys, because they have gyro bombers. And I have a feeling my Cygor's not going to be, while he can throw rocks, isn't going to be particularly good at taking them out. So they could be an issue. They've also got, what is this? They've got some horrible dwarven infantry thing. And this is Thogrim Grudgebearer. This is the dwarven king I am fighting again. Though, at this point, I'm really not that fussed by it. I'm not worried about fighting this battle. I've got a nice, solid, and I'm actually going to fight this one a bit differently, guys. I'm going to try a new tactic. And this tactic is going to be using my Minotaurs as my front line and using my Gors and my Ungors as my flankers, because my Gors and my Ungors take more damage if I put them right into the centre there. While they'll hold the line, they will take a lot more damage. Whereas if I smash my Minotaurs in, potentially I'm going to disrupt their line a lot more, and then my Ungors can take advantage of that. And why did I do that? That was very silly of me. Right, throw rocks at him. You guys can start moving up here. You guys can all keep moving while these guys move. You can keep throwing rocks. This is where not having archers was a bad move, and I've just realised why not having archers was a terrible move, because I can't actually deal with flying units, even if I only have a couple of units of archers in each of these armies. Though none of these guys are actually doing any real damage to me. Oh, sod this. Charge. No, you can just stop here and keep throwing rocks. You guys can keep smashing up into their main force, and now you guys can come in from behind. And now the Gauls can come in to start hitting the edges and flanking around. Yeah, it was my own guys you hit. And these guys can slam into the back to disrupt them. And there goes the enemy's line. There goes the enemy. And watch this, they are just getting slaughtered here. There's Thogrim there, fighting away. Lord on Lord, though their Lord is definitely better, however, against everything else I've got here, not necessarily. He is still fighting, the rest of his force is breaking, and he is beginning to break. Let's get everything in here. He is still fighting there, trying to. In this press of people. And these iron breakers are still holding. Not now. Yeah, you can keep throwing rocks at them. That's that. That's a nice, easy victory, actually. I have realised why at least having some archers is a good idea to deal with those pesky flying units. Somebody had if they'd had an entire army of flying units, I wouldn't have actually been able to deal with that, which would have been an interesting thing to happen. So, you know, we'll have to see. Anyway, guys, once this turn we get back to, well, once we get out of this battle, I will be ending this there. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I do hope you are enjoying this campaign. I certainly am. We are coming to the end of the actual main campaign goals soon for the long campaign, just killing the dwarfs and killing off all of the factions of man, including Bretonia. We've just got to get in there and finish off the last few little bits of Bretonia, at which point it will be time for our glorious charge to spread our herd across the world and start raiding in different places, and which is going to be a lot more of an aggressive, silly, just charging around the place just to see all the territories, which I've not seen yet with the remainders with my herds until they get squashed. Certainly Lustria could be interesting, because it looks like it's while it's not a single power, it looks like it's a big bunch of various different powers who are probably all allied together. Well, who are all allied together from the looks of it. Okay, and we are nearly out of this now. But anyway, guys, as I said, we don't need to finish this because I'm going to be saving as soon as we're done with this. So thank you very much for watching, guys.